super thankful to have Brendan here with us in the Handcrafted Therapy Podcast today. Thank you for joining us today, Brendan.
Thank you, Julie. I'm so happy and honored to be here.
You're an amazing presence. I've always noticed that your energy is just so infectious in a good way. Like it's a happy virus that you want to get.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, today's subject is, and possibly could be triggering for some people.
Yeah.
This is a little more of a specific topic around the gay community as it relates to massage therapy and sexual misconduct.
Yes.
So for those of you listening, if that subject is triggering for you, please move on to your next episode, because I would hate to cause anybody, significant damage because of what we talked about today. This is meant to be a topic that I would like aired, and we need to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, it's just going to continue to happen.
100%.
And I'm so thankful that I have so many strong people in this massage community that are willing and able to help me fight the good fight on this one and keep our industry professional. So thanks again, Brendan, for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Now, I met you through Kikino Massage School.
Yes.
You are a recent graduate?
Recent graduate. Yeah. I've been practicing for a year and a half now, almost.
Very nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great school to be in.
It is. I love it.
So, Brendan, tell us a little bit about, you've shared with me, along with several other people in our industry, about what you've been through with your family, your mom, your home life.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot with her. Can you kind of explain it briefly?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a survivor of 17 years of physical and psychological abuse from my mother. Physical to the extent that she was smart enough not to leave a mark, but creative enough for it to be cruel and make an imprint, right? So that had a very heavy impact on my perception of myself. And it made an imprint that lasted till this day, right? It's something that never leaves you. But I like to say that experience has given me a lifetime of preparation for this work and what I stand for and who I represent, and this quote unquote infectious energy that you spoke of that I seem to give off, which I'm grateful that you said. I learned at a very young age that, without understanding, really, I learned that my purpose was to absorb all of that hatred and anger and malice that she projected onto me and completely transmuted into light and projected back outward. And without even thinking, I did that as a very young age. So I love this unique opportunity that my career as a massage therapist enables me to continue doing that and guide people through their own process of finding what that looks like for them.
That's beautiful. And, on behalf of me and the listeners, I'd like to give you a big hug.
Thank you.
It's, my voice cracks a lot in this podcast. It's hard not to have an emotional response to what you just said.
Well, thanks. It's heavy.
You've been dealing with it your whole life. And for those of us listening, we just heard about it today. And it's heartbreaking to hear that one of our own massage therapists have gone through this. And I'm so glad you're taking what you're learning and honing it in to help other people.
I think it's the only way to process and to transmute. I can't help but look at it as an opportunity that has presented me with a tool. There's no other outcome. I think I would be dead or still an active alcoholic, which I'm now 5 years into recovery of as of the 5th of September of this year.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. So I've had a long trajectory of not having any clue how to deal with my past and outsourcing, finding substances, people, right, to distract myself. And then to clean all that up and sit in myself and be like, I'm going to witness what this is and sit with it and learn how to befriend it and analyze what can I use as a tool to help move forward in my personal life and my career and as a guide for others, right? That's the reason I'm here.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. We're so thankful that you have that perception in life because we need more people like that in our world, you know.
Great.
And you have come out. I'm
Yes.
I hope that's not the first time.
Surprise everyone.
I'm gonna want to like burst the bubble there, but
Right.
I think the
No.
cat's out of the bag.
Yes, I came out as a senior in high school to a very Christian family that did not take it well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I imagine that was a big trigger for more abuse.
Unintentional, but yes. Yeah. The feeling of rejection, not necessarily abusive in context, but the feeling of being rejected by people that loved you so dearly when you were young. And then they hear this thing about you that suddenly changes who they think you are. You're no longer this innocent child to them. You are the embodiment of a sin. And their entire relationship with you changes. It's like a wall has come up and it's painful. Yeah. In many regards, that has not changed to this day with some of my family, I'm sad to say. And I have to constantly check in with myself and allow myself to feel that enough to remember that it's going to be okay and that I have the right to authentically be and express myself, right? And that their opinion can't change that for me, right? But it's not easy.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, one thing that's beautiful about going to a school like Kikino and being in a massage community like this, at least this is how I have felt, is when, you're going through rough times and you're trying to figure out who your real family is. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
In those low times. And most of the time, blood isn't thicker than water.
Nope.
You find your tribe. And I think Kikino is a hell of a tribe.
It certainly is. I'm a firm believer in chosen family over blood family.
For sure. So let me ask you this, Brendan.
Yeah.
A lot of what you worked with deeper into your massage practice and your professional life with Kikino, you've worked on establishing boundaries with your clients and with your chosen family, right?
Yes.
How do you feel like that has impacted your work or has it?
I think it definitely has impacted my work. The most significant way is being able to share authentically my personal experience when something relevant comes up on the table from what a client is saying they're going through, right? So that's often an approach I take. A client will mention something that they're experiencing, and I'll immediately validate them by relating my personal experience in the most vulnerable way that I can, which deactivates the situation because now they feel fully seen. Then I can give examples of what boundaries look like to me. A lot of times we don't move through life truly understanding what a boundary is or how to even use it or that you're capable of creating one, especially when you're in a situation where you're in, say, a relationship, a thumb is on you, you feel like. How do you begin to create a boundary in that scenario, right? So yeah, I use personal experiences to help people find a way to get back into their body and use boundaries for themselves, right?
I love it. I mean, I think our topic today is about sexual misconduct. And if I'm right about this, I think that the key to this topic is all about setting boundaries.
That is the number one, protector, I think, that's been in the back of my mind in anticipation of this conversation. That's been the forefront idea of boundaries because I didn't know what they were and I didn't have them at the time when it happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really hard to understand boundaries as a child. Yeah, I mean, almost impossible. I mean, I know grown adults who don't understand boundaries.
100%.
Some of them are in my family too,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, so talk to me a little bit, Brendan, about the gay community and how this topic of sexual misconduct plays a part of the LGBTQ community.
So to say this in the most respectful way possible, men are men, right? Like, we are prone to taking what we want, as sad as it is to say, especially when desire, anticipation, lust comes into the equation. People quick to take advantage of others that they see as weak. And people can sniff out when you don't know how to hold a boundary, and they're quick to take advantage of it, right? For the gay community, there's a lot of very fast progression in the quote unquote dating life or sleeping around life between two men. It's very fast. In today's world, especially, we have online dating apps, more appropriately titled hookup apps, where you can find things in hours, right? And so, yeah, it's common, I think, unfortunately, to be afraid of someone taking advantage of you because it's hard to trust. Yet we've all been wounded so deeply in one regard or another via a lack of acceptance or not having access to things that we want, whatever, that we put ourselves in situations that are inherently dangerous. And a lot of us, like, it's possible to almost receive this like sick pleasure out of putting yourself in an overly vulnerable situation. In regard to like massage therapists and the gay community, I hate how so many gay massage therapists are invalidating our desire, your and my desire, to keep this profession professional and safe by using those same hookup apps that I mentioned earlier and calling themselves LMTs and trying to sell happy endings. And they'll even put in the bio, like, open to all, I won't say no. And it just completely skewers people's perception of what our work is. And so I found myself on dating apps where I'm trying to authentically relate with someone and have an actual conversation. And they ask me, what do you do? Okay, I'll proudly tell you what I do because I love my work and I'm proud of my work. As soon as I say the word massage therapist, I've been blocked. I'll give a paragraph explaining the type of work that I do, how professional it is, that I'll use the word clinical to try to make it sound more professional and medically oriented. And they'll block me, no questions, assuming that I'm trying to sell them something. It's very sad.
I'm sorry to hear that that's happening. And I'm thankful you're sharing this because I think the massage community may not really see that side of what's going on. I mean, until we talked in the hallway that day,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it, to be frank.
Right.
I mean, there's one time I actually thought something like this, and I'm going to share with you a story. I used to work for a really high-end spa hotel, and there was a gay man that worked with me as a coworker, and we had a couples massage that we were working together on. And as soon as he saw the man, he came to me and was like, "Can I please work on him? Can I please work on him?" And I was like, "Sure, I don't care." We're in the same room with his wife or girlfriend, whoever she was, that I'm working on. And he proceeds to give the most erotic professional massage that I've ever seen.
Wow.
It wasn't inappropriate, but it felt like it should be.
Yeah.
So I don't, it's a weird subject, right? I mean,
It is a weird subject.
he was definitely aroused by it. Let's put it that way.
The therapist or the client?
The therapist.
Yeah.
The client was not.
I'm
It
sure.
it really made me feel very unprofessional. I
You're
was
associated with it. Yeah. I don't want to be associated with that, right?
Yeah, it was really gross, but, you know, I don't want our listeners to think that I have anything wrong. There's anything wrong with people who are gay, especially people who are gay and massage therapists.
Of course not.
I personally, they're some of my favorite people. I mean, what could be better? Massage therapist. Fine. It's like a unicorn. But, but speaking truthfully, though, I think there is kind of a dark web around these, these Tinder, Grinder app. I shouldn't say any of them by name, but that's what they're called.
You said it, not me.
There are these dating apps that you can literally get on and see who's within, 5 feet. I mean, I've been married for almost 20 years now, and I am so thankful that I've never had to deal with this way of dating, but it's a part of our world. And
Yes.
I think there are great things that come from having dating apps. Lots of people find the love of their lives and, forever after they live, right?
Right.
However that may look.
Right.
But, I don't know about you, but the way you described how people respond to you as a therapist in the gay community, it really upsets me.
Yeah. Same. I chose to stop even saying anything about it. If they ask me, if the conversation is going well and they ask me, I say, I only talk about my work in person. That's it.
Yeah. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you.
That's right.
I mean, approaching it from a clinical medical point of view is probably a good way to do it in conversation, but
Yeah.
I can see how as soon as you say that, because of so many others that have abused that.
They've clearly been traumatized by it in the past.
How do we reverse this conversation, Brendan?
That's such a good point. And the problem is, I don't even know, because it's people that don't value the perception that we hold that are choosing to advertise themselves in that way and use that platform because they know they're going to make quick money. And that's the driving factor right there. It's the money. They probably don't enjoy it. I'm sure they're not really happy about it, but they're guaranteed clientele.
Now, you mentioned that they're calling themselves licensed. Are they licensed?
That's a great question. I don't know, but they'll use LMT to identify themselves.
They use our acronym, LMT.
They use our acronym. Yeah.
And there's no repercussions for us in that capacity, is there?
For us in what regard? What do you mean?
I mean, we can't. How do we call them out as liars?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, well, what are the repercussions of saying I'm a licensed massage therapist and you're not?
Good question. And when you said that, it made me wonder if we could almost petition the apps themselves, especially that particular one that you said that I'm not going to say the name again, almost have in their policy that they won't allow you to advertise yourself in that way because they know that they're making money. So that probably shouldn't even be legal in the first place.
Yes. That's a good point. Let's start a petition, Brendan.
Let's do it. I'm the first signature.
So I'll be the second. And then whoever's listening, I hope you join in on us. I mean, I think
that's fantastic.
Start.
That's
right?
That's excellent. Yes.
This is how we make change as we identify the problem, troubleshoot a solution, and repeat it until it gets fixed. I mean,
that would be awesome.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm so down. Wow.
Okay, cool. I'm excited about this.
Me too.
If you guys that are listening out there have any ideas, suggestions on how we can, squash the bad reputation that these dating apps are giving LMTs, please make comments, send us emails, tell us what you think. Because, we're talking about it because we don't want this to continue. We're mad.
Absolutely.
They're diluting our profession.
Yes. And we collectively were working so hard on legitimizing ourselves and being seen as health professionals, right? And one step in the wrong direction takes us 5 steps back.
Yep.
Every time.
I was doing a little research yesterday, and the top 2 states for human trafficking, can you guess which 2 states they are?
I don't even know. I'm not even going to try.
Actually, it's 3. California is number 1.
Okay.
And Texas and Florida.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Well, first of all, we're on the border. So
Yeah.
that makes for challenging circumstances and people coming in from other countries. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, you know, it's a real problem. And now I mentioned human trafficking because this is another part of the topic,
It's true.
right? Now, I don't believe that, maybe I could be wrong like this, but do you think the human trafficking is a problem in the gay community as well, like we see it in the straight community?
I don't know for certain. I'm going to say yes. And the problem is, I'm afraid to say this, but it's true. Probably underage boys
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
is the problem, is like the most victimized by the gay community, which is heartbreaking. And I have no facts to support that, but that's just a perception.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's, and you're probably right about that, which is totally unfortunate. Okay. So we're going to sign a petition against dating apps to not promote licensed massage therapists or anybody claiming to be, because they're
Right.
making a lot of money off of it.
Yes.
What else do you think we can do to change the dynamics in this situation? I mean, do you feel safe getting a massage? Period.
Frankly, I don't really receive body work outside of Kikino very often. I'm so closely knit in my circle. I kind of stay there. I know it's safe, you know? And so when you ask me that and I question for myself, is that because I'm fearful of outside sources? I don't know.
Well, I asked that question because I've learned that a lot of people are scared and feel unsafe to go someplace they don't know to get a massage. And that's also a little terrifying for our industry.
It really is.
Yeah. We all should feel comfortable and safe getting a massage and not feel like we're going to get, you know, something we didn't ask for.
So I think, for example, the intake forms at Kikino have clients check boxes that say, yes, I understand draping will be used. I have the right, as a client, I have the right to stop the service if I ever feel comfortable for any reason without explanation. And so I think practice that we can make a promise amongst ourselves as a community of massage therapists is to ensure that we include that quote unquote disclaimer and like advice or knowledge that we can give to the clients and say that you have a voice here. I'm acknowledging that like this is a thing and I am not a part of that. And that's not what this is. And you are safe from that. But if anything changes and you feel differently, you have the right to say something, which comes back to boundaries.
Yeah.
And we are in a position as massage therapists where we are implored. It demands that we cultivate boundaries for our clients, that we have to create a safe environment for them to be able to uphold boundaries and make it known that they have boundaries. All right. If you, as a client, don't know how to use one, let us give you one. Right.
Yeah. Well, and as we mentioned before, there's so many people that don't know how to incorporate boundaries in their own life. You know, at work, at home, with friends, with family. I mean, it is hard to do. It is hard to say, especially right now in our political landscape. It's hard to say
Yes.
to your friends and family, I don't want to talk about politics, right?
That's a big one.
It's a big one. But you know what? Not being sexually molested, that's a big one too, you know?
Very true.
And I want to empower people, you and
Yes.
me and everybody
Yes.
listening and everybody that would ever get on a massage table and say, you have the power to set your own boundaries, to say, I don't want to be touched in this way, whatever way that is, even if it's normal, quote,
Yes.
normal
Yes.
for everybody else. I got a phone call after the last episode released from a special massage therapy friend of mine. And she shared with me that she froze on the massage table because somebody was working on her glutes. I've done that thousands of times and didn't think about it being a trigger for anybody. She opened my eyes to that when she shared her story. So thank you. If you're listening, I'm not going to say her name, but I am thankful that we as therapists are enlightened and empathetic enough to see that what we do has a cause and effect. And I say that in not just the good way, but also in a bad way too. I remember having this conversation in massage school about how if you go in to massage somebody's neck, you have to be really careful because if they've been strangled before, they might hit you, react in some way because you're putting your hands around their neck. That
Yeah.
might be triggering to them. I remember going, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that." Now, I've not had anybody hit me in the massage room before, thank God.
Thankfully.
But I have had somebody grab my hand before because I've done too much pressure, and I have actually commended them for taking charge of the situation.
I have done the same. I will, yes, especially when they say something, I'll thank you for saying something.
Yes.
Then you're reinforcing, hopefully, right?
Yes, exactly.
Thank-
Yeah, more massage therapists need to do that. We all need to collectively thank people for giving us feedback and helping us provide a better massage for them. How can we support you in the gay community of massage therapists besides signing a petition? How can we support you in feeling safer in your community?
Wow,
That's
that's an
a big
excellent
question.
question. That's a really big question.
It's a big question, and you might not have an answer for it, but I think as a collective, we need to think about that.
I think as inherently within a lot of us that call ourselves massage therapists and work within this profession, we are equipped with empathy, right? Overflowing with it often. I think one of the biggest helps would be remembering and acknowledging that for those of us that identify as gay and are massage therapists, or just in general, whether we're massage therapists or not, that so many people in our personal lives have not accepted us. And you may have no clue how big of a circle that person has that's actually backing. And so it sounds so simple, but such a profound help can be showing that individual that they are seen and accepted and free to express themselves however they feel is necessary, right? Without any fear of judgment or animosity. I don't know if that really answers your question.
I think it was beautiful. I mean, I loved the message because I think it's true whether they're a massage therapist or not. We just need to have a little more love and acceptance in the world in all areas. I just love the way you said we all need support and how you're right, though. There's a whole community of people behind you that might not accept you for who you are. And that is really extremely sad. But at the
Yes.
same time, so much more important for us as fellow colleagues to be supportive of each other, provide that comfort zone, that, you know, way to be yourself without, you know, any judgment or, anything.
And
Yeah.
speaking of judgment, this conversation also presents a really big opportunity for us to explore what it looks like to forgive these people that have done these things to us, or forgiving those that have created this negative perception about a community as a whole, right? Like hurt people. It's such a cliche statement, but it's true. And I don't know about you, Julie, but I feel like every heavy, quote unquote, negative experience that has happened to me in my life was gifted to me so that I was equipped with intimate personal knowledge of what it means to walk this life as a human and what it means to know pain and how to transmute it, how to collect this assemblage of tools that I can use for my personal life, but also as a guide, right? So even being a survivor of something like sexual assault, I have to lump into that category because it taught me something. It taught me how to respect myself, how to value myself, that my body is my own temple, how to say no, how not to love. And it taught me that people can make decisions because they don't know how to answer those types of questions for themselves. They don't know how to look at themselves that way. And they don't have that love. And if they don't have it for themselves, and they certainly can't show it toward you. And so I'm obliged to find forgiveness for that individual because it taught me something that I can use now, right? And I can sit here and very boldly and proudly use my voice to say, yes, I'm a male survivor of sexual assault, and I'm okay, you know?
Oh, that was just beautiful. Oh, Brendan, that was awesome. I, I needed to hear that today because this is a subject that's been plaguing me for a while, and I'm angry. And you can hear it in my last
Yeah.
couple of episodes about this subject. I'm angry. I'm angry that I was sexually assaulted. I'm angry that you were sexually assaulted.
Yes.
I'm angry that my friend was triggered on the massage table by somebody working on her glutes. I'm
Same.
angry that my friend Camille had the problem several years ago with somebody on the table. And I'm angry that the community of people on dating apps is using our profession.
That one makes me angry too. 100%.
Yeah, it makes
And it deserves that. Anger is valid.
it
It
totally is
needs to be there.
valid. But you've made a very good point, which is I have to also forgive those because hurt people and they are humans.
They are.
The person that did that to me is a human. He's got a
Yes.
suffering,
Yes.
I mean, the persons that have also done this to other people are also human beings. And maybe they just need to be trained better on how to establish better boundaries. How do we do that? I don't know. We push for a better system, right?
Yeah. I think it begins with ourselves.
Yeah. We have to live and breathe what our own ethics and morals tell us to do, right? And live by those guiding rules.
Yes. I think the most powerful form of influence is by leading and just being the truth that you know, right?
Yeah. Walk the walk.
Authentically. Yeah. That's my driving force. I made, like, as a student, I vocalized that commitment to myself that I wanted to walk in this profession as authentically as I possibly could. And so it's a fun challenge. It gets really gritty, but it's a fun challenge to sit there and, like, look at aspects of your life and be like, how can I apply just a tad more authenticity to this and make myself slightly more uncomfortable? But what will that teach me? You know?
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it is a good test because, like, when I opened the store up, it's been a year and a half ago now. When I opened the store, my goal was to always,
Yeah.
I've never, I'm going to knock on wood somewhere.
There you go.
I've not, yeah, I've not veered from that because I want to do things on the straight and narrow all the time. I want to live and breathe that and embody that embodiment of what my morals and ethics are and lead by example. I
Yes.
truly believe in that. I've worked under people who lead by, you know, by the hammer. They've tried,
Yeah.
you know,
By, like, authority, not
yeah,
authenticity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do what I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
And it's so inauthentic. You can feel it. It creates it's like a different frequency.
it is. It is. And I think that's the generational gap between,
Oh,
we've seen in the past, my parents' generation and you guys, you're a millennial, right?
I am a millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love millennials, Gen Z. I mean, you guys get a bad rap, but I am a big fan. You guys,
I think so too. I think of course, there's balance with everything. I think my generation is becoming really vocal on a spiritual front. I'm alluding to, like, we're embracing an era of vulnerability I don't think we've seen before. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. I love it too. I'm here for it because I mean, I want to be a part of it too. I want
Yeah.
to talk about the problems that we're having and I want to talk about how to fix them. And this is the number one problem we're having in our is the sexual misconduct. I think, frankly, a lot of this comes down to the fact that we don't have enough massage therapists in our industry. And, the ones that we do have aren't disciplined for doing misconduct because they're not disciplined. They continue to do the bad deed. So it's a
Yeah,
vicious cycle.
it is.
But, I'm very thankful for sharing a little bit of behind the curtain as far as like the gay dating scene. I mean,
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it, it sounds a little horrific to be
it
frank.
is. I could go on for hours about that.
Yeah. I just, I don't know how to change the narrative, but I like the idea of doing a petition.
I love it. I really love that idea. That's really something.
Good. Well, I'm glad to help promote that and do whatever we need to do to get as many signatures as we can to
Awesome.
get
That'd be
that.
incredible. We could really
Yeah.
do something with that.
Let's do it, man. I'm in for it. I'm in for it.
I'm in for it. It's awesome.
Is there anything else you want to share with our podcast listeners before we wrap this up?
Well, first, I just want to thank you once again for having me. It's been an honor, and I really enjoyed the conversation. I learned a lot, and I love this idea of a petition, so I'm really grateful for that, and I hope that we can get a ton of signatures. I think I want to close with my favorite affirmation, one of my favorite. I believe it came from Kim Kranz, to give credit where credit is due, but it's, when I'm aligned with my higher self, there are no mistakes. I think that's so beautiful.
It really is. It really is. Oh, you're such a beautiful soul, Brendan. I'm so happy to know you.
I'm so happy to know you as well, Julie.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
Good.
So much fun.
I'm so happy you did. Listeners, if you want to get a hold of Brendan, you can usually find him at Kikino, I think, right? Yeah, if you have any ideas on how to help move this conversation forward, please send us a message and let us know. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you so very much.